What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. My throat's a bit sore, a bit raspy. It's Carnival weekend here in the UK, Notting Hill Carnival, and it's Bank Holiday Monday. And just when I was there yesterday with Robbie, and was actually with X. Funny enough, I was walking around, and everyone was just so overjoyed. Obviously, the Leeds win, and then obviously Eze signing, Yoker scoring. But everyone said to me after our jubilation about how where Arsenal is at the moment, they would then go on to talk about the injuries, Saka and Martin Odegaard, and that's why we're here today. We're going to discuss quickly a breaking news on what's gone on. There's been an update in literally the past couple minutes, so I'm here to give you the update on what's going on with Bukayo Saka, his injury, and Martin Odegaard. So let's start. Let's do the start of the timeline. So the start of the timeline was Odegaard today was supposed to do a meet and greet at the Armory at Arsenal at the stadium, and meet the fans and sign some signatures, so autographs for fans. But that's been postponed due to his injury. And to look a little bit more on it, it's obviously a shoulder injury where he went down against Leeds. We saw the pool. I think Robbie was campaigning that it should have been a yellow card, that foul. But he injured his shoulder again. This is not a new injury. He's had this shoulder injury before, and it's flared up. Now, I'm going to go on to Saka's as well. I'm going to give you a debrief from the physio scout on kind of what we're kind of discussing at this stage, because there's a physio scout on Twitter who's very in the know around when it comes to injuries around football players. The news about the players being out is broken by Sammy Mockbell at the BBC. He goes on to say about Saka to potentially be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Bukayo Saka, I'm going to read it here. Bukayo Saka is set to miss Arsenal's game against Liverpool, which is a massive, massive blow, on Sunday, as well as England's World Cup qualifiers against Andorra and Serbia next month. So straight away, we won't be having, we won't be having Saka. I know sometimes, managers. I spoke to someone yesterday, like, Arteta doesn't ever tell the truth about the injuries and whatnot, but it does seem that this one is quite serious. Obviously, it's a hamstring injury for Bukayo Saka, and we'll get into that a little bit more a bit later. But he will not be there for the Liverpool game, which is a big, big miss, and obviously the 2 England games. But we say 3 to 4 weeks. Again, due to there being an international break after when we play Liverpool, it kind of reduces the time that we miss Bukayo Saka playing for Arsenal, which, depending on which way you look at it, listen, I don't want my player injured, so I'd rather him just be fit, but at least he's not missing plenty of Arsenal games. It's more so the international break, which Andorra, Serbia, do you know what I mean? It's not too much of a bad thing. I'll move on to talk about Martin Odegaard. Sammy Mockbell goes on to say, Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard is doubtful for the match at Anfield as a result of a shoulder injury suffered in the victory against Leeds. There was a particular relief regarding Saka, who missed the 3 months last season with a hamstring injury. He's saying that because it's not deemed to be as bad as we first thought. I think both it is both injuries. Both injuries at the stage, maybe because I'm an Arsenal fan, I just want my players to be protected and not get injured. I think when we first saw Odegaard at first, him coming off did surprise me. Okay, I was a bit worried about that, but the Saka one looked quite serious. I'll be honest. At first stage, you see him, touch the back of his hamstring. You see him put his hand up. You see him call to be substituted as well, which are all bad signs when it comes to an injury to a player. So I was fearing the worst. I was massively fearing the worst. Obviously, there's grades to hamstring injuries. I believe it's grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. Grade 3 being the worst, but grade 1 being, I want to say manageable, but better than the other grades. And this one's looking like it's a grade 1 injury. And I believe it's his other hamstring, Bukayo Saka. I'm going to read a bit more on that in a second from, like I said, physio scout. But I believe it's grade 1 hamstring injury on the other hamstring because he had surgery on, I need to get the left and rights right, but it was not the one that he had surgery on, the other one. So let me read this. So this from Physio Scout says, initial news from the Time states that Saka and Odegaard won't be out for an extended period of time, which is, again, good news. We all thought it would be a lot longer. For Saka, it could point to a grade 1 hamstring injury around 2 to 3 weeks out, which is kind of aligning with what Sammy Mockbell was saying, around 3 weeks, or possibly just hamstring tightness. I don't think it's hamstring tightness. I think it's a bit more than that, which could see him back within a week. The latter is less likely, but still possible. Which means we could get him straight back after the international break. For Odegaard, the outlook was always quite positive. His shoulder issue seems consistent with an AC joint injury, which usually settles quickly and is more about pain management and can return within a week. His recovery shouldn't face major setbacks. Fingers crossed both recover smoothly and we'll keep an eye out on further updates this week. Now, that's from, again, I'm going to keep saying Physio Scout because it's a great page, and it's funny, when the news happened, I went straight there to get the update. And he was tweeting saying, I just woke up and I'm getting loads of notifications, but he's done a breakdown, or he or she, sorry, has done a breakdown on what we can expect in the time period and what it looks like the injury is. So that's the news for that. Obviously, Arsenal have been doing a madness in the window. So, I mean, no, I'm not happy about the injuries at all, but Andrea Berta, and do you know what? They're right. I saw some comments saying, why is no one giving the Cronkies any credit? I'll be one first one to put my hand up and say, yeah, fair. Pick up the Cronkies, because even this morning, I'm seeing a few signings that we're potentially might be making, which again can surprise me because they're positions that we're kind of stacked in. But I'm sure, you're going to see more breaking news on some of those potential signings in the coming hours here on AFTV or from Transfer Daily. But the Cronkies, Andrea Berta, moving mad. I talk about player sales. People keep telling me to rate the window, and I can't give it the 9 that people, I think people want me to give, because I'm so fixated on why we haven't made any player sales. But this morning, as I'm seeing this news break, I'm also seeing that player sales are potentially going to be happening in the coming days. So we're stacked. We're looking like we're getting more. I don't think injuries are also dictating our window either. I think because of what happened with Eze and with Kai Havertz, I think the Eze signing, people assumed that pushed it along. I actually don't think that had any influence in it. I think we was always looking to get Eze, especially when they saw what they were going to accept the deal from Tottenham. So it's good that business is still getting done regardless. I remember the meltdowns in Noni Madueke, but they said that the Eze deal was not linked to Noni Madueke as well, and we end up getting both. So all those people that are going crazy, it's not been too bad. We're getting cover. We're getting a lot of signings in. Yes, this is bad. Well, it's better news than bad news, because it's looking like they're going to be back sooner than we first initially thought. And I want to clear it up by finishing off by just reading the news again. Sammy Mockbelt at the BBC has said, Arsenal attacker Bukayo Saka expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury, set to miss the Liverpool clash and England games. Martin Odegaard's shoulder injury not severe. So that is the full news. Saka likely to be back after the international break. Odegaard, it's up in the air whether he'll play against Liverpool. You let me know in the comments below. Would you risk him? Because he's not going to be fully fit, but he probably could play. Would you risk him, or would you look to give an Ethan Nwaneri a start in there, Max Dowman starting there? Let me know in the comments below, because that is what I want to know, and that's what I'm going to be discussing in the build-up to the Liverpool game. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.
Catch all the best shows from your favourite fan channels on GFN Soccer TV, now streaming on Samsung TV Plus.